getting ready to do and a little bit about why we planned this walk too. I'm Diane Hall, and we have our other Trails Committee members here. And raise your hands, everybody. Here we go. And they've all joined us here and made a special trip here to make sure that we provide you with some information and a little history and a nice walk through Centennial to get that turkey gravy off you. So, yeah. So, just to tell you a little bit about Centennial, we have actually two other entrances. We're using the Mass Bay entrance here today just because of the parking availability and also just to, I can't see your face. That's right. Just to kind of show you a little bit about how these two properties are married. I think a lot of people don't even know that Centennial is two separate properties. So we want to kind of point that out to you today. We're entering through Mass Bay, but we've made some signs along the way that you can see where the Mass Bay property ends and where the Centennial property begins, which belongs to the town of Wellesley. It's called Centennial because we purchased it from the Sisters of Charity, which is right over there, in 1980, at the Centennial celebration. So, and it's the total is 87 acres. The part we purchased was 42 acres. And they really are together. It's hard to delineate when one stops and when it begins, but we set up some signs to show you the way. A little bit about Centennial. There's a lot of it's glacier formed. It's beautiful. There's lots of open fields. That's very nice. We have wooded areas, and we've got lots of cane and drumlins and all kinds of glacial type of wonderful deposits in there, and it's very hilly. It's beautiful, and so we're very, very fortunate to have it, and we want to keep it preserved. Lots of wildlife is in there. When you're out in the fields, you can see red-tailed hawk. A lot of them searching for their next meal. There's a pond down that we will not get to. We're trying to make this a quick walk so that you can see the area. However, if you want to explore it on your own, the other entrance down here off of Oakland, there is a map house. You can drive into it, and there's a map house that will show you the entire area, and you can see the area that we're not going to cover today. So we're going to be getting here, and before we start, I just want to tell you a little bit there are a lot of leaves, which is fine, except for they can be slippery. And underneath those leaves are lots of roots from trees and lots of rocks. So please make sure you pick up your feet and you watch where you're going. And we'll make a couple of stops along the way, and we'll point out a few very interesting points. So until then, though, I think we're all really aware of what's going on regarding the sale of the property. And the Centennial property over there is under the direction of the NRC and the Natural Resource Commission. And so the Trails is a subcommittee of that. And we have someone from the NRC here, Steve Park. Hi. And Steve's going to tell us a little bit about what's going on. But the area that we're going to see here belongs to Mass Bay. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you and let you tell them about what's happening.
So I am Steve Park. I'm a member of the Trails Committee. I'm also on the NRC board. Most of you who are here probably are aware of what's going on already, but I'll give you the short version. So we have about 87 acres of open space. The downhill side is town land. The uphill side is owned by Mass Bay Community College, which is a state institution. And there's a little bit of water department land up at the top of August Hill. It's also owned by the town. But we're really talking about some land that Mass Bay Community College is intending to dispose of as surplus land under the Affordable Homes Act signed in 2023. The reason is they're trying to raise money for capital improvements to the tune of 70-odd million. And the Affordable Homes Act allows the state to dispose of surplus land for the purposes of developing housing to address the state's housing shortage. That land would be sold to a private developer, and the important detail to note is the town has very little agency in this proposal because it's state land, and the land disposed under the Affordable Homes Act is exempt from nearly all local zoning laws. Local zoning is how the town shapes development according to its needs and values, and so the guidelines here set the housing minimum at 180 units. That's 4 units of housing on 45 acres at least. So here we have a forest that could be developed in a very different light than what you see today. It's worth noting though that that disposal of land includes this 5-acre parking lot and 40 acres of forest. Let's see. And so I guess, yeah, go ahead.
Also, you might mention that under the Affordable Homes Act, it's called fast tracking, where the environmental protections and the whole environmental process that has been used by the state is gone. It's a fast track, so we don't even have the environmental protections for this with this new Affordable Homes Act. So it's a very big change. So it sort of puts gasoline on the fire.
Thank you. Very important to note that.
When they say affordable homes, how affordable? What does that mean?
It just has to qualify for affordable housing. I'm not sure the exact number.
It is no requirement. This is important to know. There is no requirement under the Affordable Homes Act to be affordable. You have to know that to start with. That is absolutely in the law. Go online and read the law. Friends of Brookside has put out information. Make yourself aware and go into all the details, and you will start to learn. The more and more you learn, you start to question it like more and more seriously. So get on the list for Friends of Brookside and go into it. The town can put the town would like to put an affordable portion, like in general, like 20%. So if there's 180 units, the town would say, well, we want to have 20% of those units affordable. That is not a requirement of the state law. So that's just, and then recently, probably a lot of people got the notice that this visioning has been put off, and that from the select board, they said the state is not really going to be looking for input from the municipalities for density, scale. In other words, the state does not want to hear from us. So, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but the way I read it, right now, they could put in 100, if this gets sold, 180 units, and it could all be $2, $3, $4 million units. There is no restriction. That's the way. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I think you're right. The premise of the AHA is essentially nothing to do with the price of the unit. I think it's simply a supply-demand thing. Their idea is if you flood the zone, the state of Massachusetts, with 250,000 homes in the course of 10 years, if everyone buys 20 chickens and you flood the zone with eggs, the price of eggs will come down, right? And that's the idea. It has nothing to do with what the price of these units are. I think my one question on that 20% inclusion thing is, does the town, who has a law that says 20% of new homes in large developments has to be affordable, does that apply to this state-owned? Yeah, so as you said, the town's going to ask for that, but the state could theoretically, or the developer could say, I'm sorry, I'm exempt from that.
I mean, the phrasing that we've heard from the state is that they would like, well, they have said that they would like the town's input to inform the qualities and parameters they would put in a request for proposal, but that's a very vague request.
It could just be a little lip service.
And
it sounds like something happened recently that visioning thing was put off. Sounds like maybe the select board sort of read the tea leaves and said, we kind of had one short speed date with you, and then we got shunted to the side.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of
And-
information about that, really. I think we all read the same
It was
announcement.
executive session, and
Yeah.
so we don't know. But what was written for us all to read was that the state is really not looking for input from the municipalities where they want to
So
put this.
who in the state government should we be contacting?
Go on Friends
with our
of Brookside,
concerns?
and there's a whole, there's
All their emails
Executive
are right there.
Office of Livable Communities, a DCAM, Department of Environmental. There's a whole, there's the, first of all, it's the governor. She sets the policy. She appoints the, she sets the policy. She has her people. But she also has environmental people like the climate chief. And I don't know where those people are right now. But if you go under Friends of Brookside, and you can get, and I'll be happy to talk to you later, as far, because I'm learning as I go. You know, I'm just a regular, ordinary citizen, sort of thinking like, whoa, what's going on here? I used to be a chair on natural resources myself for 2 terms. I was chair at one point. So I have a little bit of that background, a little bit of that, you know, environmental, close to my heart. And so, but go online for Friends of Brookside, and then and be aware as much as you can. So,
Yeah, there's so the Save the Mass Bay Forest, SaveMassBayForest.org.
Yeah,
I think
right.
is the website that's been floated around.
Where's
On that
that?
page
It's on
is a
that
link.
Where's the sheets?
Handed out, yeah.
Does anyone need one?
Yeah, we have these,
she's got
and
Yeah, so grab a
Katarina
sheet.
has them, and Ezra, our chair, had printed them out for us.
On that
Show it.
website is a link about the free things you can do. Number 1 is what we've been talking about. There's a list of important people at the state level who are in decision-making positions, and you can contact them and tell them about what you care about. Also, there's a petition. Also, there's a lawn sign around here. I think,
I've got 'em.
yeah.
She's got lawn signs.
We probably even have a few spares, but contacting
I've
people at
got
the state
some.
level, that's the most important thing you can do, because I think while the town itself, like the select board and the NRC, have been given limited input into this process, I think what matters is hearing from residents, both in Needham, in Wellesley and Needham, people who come to Centennial and value this property. So please reach out.
Yeah, here's our flyers. Please take one of those, and Maureen has
I've got
signs.
some signs right here.
I'm sorry, go ahead and ask.
Question. My understanding was that you've got 5 or 6 acres here that's a parking lot. And rather than building 4 houses per 45 acres, you can concentrate it all in this area and save the forest.
That's a
Well,
private developer.
yeah, I think a
It'll
lot
be
of
sold to a private developer.
But before the private developer gets it, you need to file the RFP
Yeah.
and specify in the RFP where you can build.
But we just learned that the RFP is like a wish list from the town. So we just learned like
If you
yesterday.
look in the RFPs that are released under the State Land for Homes program in other towns, it says what's acceptable and what's not in terms of the applications coming from developers.
My reading of it is that the state is going to create an RFP, and what I've heard from, I think it was Cynthia Green and Alice Teich, is that they would try to save as much of the forest as possible. That's not
That's
very
pretty loose.
encouraging. It's not very committal. And so maybe they would say, okay, yeah, development is restricted to this area. Maybe not.
Right.
But the town hasn't really been given a lot of information or assurance that the forest that it cares about would be saved.
Well, we also haven't gone into negotiations with
Yeah.
the state, and I think that's the most productive way of preserving the forest instead of protesting the sale of the land. Because the only way there's a permanent conservation protection on the land is if the land is sold and you go through the RFP process.
If I can interrupt here, I just want to go real quick. What we need to do is see what we're getting ready to do, what could possibly happen. My biggest concern, of course, is this beautiful piece of land and the woods, the trees, the open fields, the beautiful piece of land that we have here, and we need to preserve. I think I'm very concerned about that, as we all are. We're all speculating what's going on, and I think the best thing we can do is just get online, stay in touch, go when there's an opportunity, and you'll realize what a gem we have here. So let's get going on it, and we're going to enter here. And we have lots of trails people. They're going to follow up and make sure nobody gets lost or taken away by a deer or something. And so we'll be heading in this way. We're going to do it. We'll stop at a couple of different points we want to point out where you can look out and see the Blue Hills. We'll make one of our last stops is at the very top at Moggus Hill, which is the second highest point in Wellesley, and where our water supply is. And you can look out and see downtown Boston. So there's a couple of really nice views. Once again, please watch your step. There are the roots and there are rocks, and let's just keep going so that we can finish up on, well, we're not going to do that, but we can at least keep going. And thank you all for coming, and we'll finish up.
One quick thing. There's 45 acres that are declared surplus, whatever that means, which is a very strange concept. If all that is a private developer has that, then you can't and you want to restrict it to the 5-acre parking lot. Then you're going to have 180 units right here. That is going to be the equivalent of 5 terrazas. Do you know where a terraza is? That's going to be 5 terrazas right here if you're going to preserve that, and you're going to use the 45 acres. So really understand that. If the state is going to exempt the 40 acres, which is what I would like to see, and have their surplus land is 5 acres, you would get 20 units. 5 acres times 4, that's 20 units.
If it takes
Well, that would be
180
fine.
units to preserve the forest,
So-
let's do it.
Come on, you want to go. It's the day after Thanksgiving. Try to stay together as best you can. Purple arrows on the trail. Yeah, okay. We have it. everybody. Okay. I just want to point out something very quickly. This is one of our open areas that is just really lovely. Hello, Steve. You're coming to say hi. We used to have a chute that would go straight down here, and we just walked down, and it was very nice. Of course, it would get eroded with the rain and the snow and so forth. So the Trails Committee, who maintains, I don't know, I meant to point that out, you can see the purple arrows on the tree over there. All of our trails are marked with arrows, and you can pick up the maps in the map houses. And we have 19 of them, I think, within the city, within the town. Anyway, this right here, if you come here, there's another parking area over here that is the top of Maugus Avenue. So you could park up there, and you can start your walk from there. Or down in Oakland, you can start it from there. We have redirected the trail many times around here because to try to keep it from eroding. This time we're going actually into the forest. You never know. Next time we may come back in this direction, but we want to keep this open. Everybody, if you take a moment, this is a bench that was donated by the Trails Committee. You can see the Blue Hills. The Blue Hills over here, and actually if you come here probably in a month, you'll be able to see the ski slope. And so you can come right over in this direction and you have a view of the ski slope that is over there on the Blue Hills. Yeah, so if you want to take a moment, go over there whenever you can. So we're going to progress down here, but this is one of the big open areas that is really, you can see the different towns. Pardon me?
State land or something?
We,
So right here, so this area is Mass Bay Community College land.
this is development.
And so do you see that white sign down there? That's where the town land starts, and there's the boundary kind of goes diagonally down the hill to the right, and it kind of continues over toward the country club. So we'll walk down, we'll cross the sign, and we'll pause and you can kind of look around. Everything uphill, that's state. Everything downhill is town land.
So this would be part of the state's area.
Was this naturally here?
Pardon me?
Was this a natural feature or was it cut sometime?
It was natural, yes. We kind of kept it as much as we can without destroying trees or anything like that. We've tried to keep it just trimmed back. The DPW is our best friend, and they help us tremendously in keeping things, trimmed. Okay, we're going to head down here, and you can see we'll go into Centennial area, and you can see how it's really, where does it end, where does it start for us all? It's just one big property.
So you see that every year the town comes in this area.
Yes.
Otherwise we go.
So I would have
Oh no, we don't stop. We don't do any of that up and this. It's just one big. Okay, just real quick, there is another way. We're going to cut through on this chute here, rather than go back down this way, because we'll go through where the other open field, the beautiful open field, is down here. As you get down to the bottom, you can see straight ahead, there is a pond, beautiful pond, and that is where lots of fish and frog, tadpoles, everything. It's a great area to go down, dog swim there, and it's very nice. And it leads, the brooks that lead into it is Rosemary Brook, and it comes down along this way and goes into it. It was named after, I'm trying to think, Bazantas, who was a Native American Native person who was our town engineer, and it was named. And he remembers growing up and fishing in that pond. So it's really an interesting history for that, and it's named after him. So we're going to go to the bottom of the chute and take a right, and you can see the pond on the down at the bottom of the hill, and we'll continue on, and the big open field and look up and see if you see red-tailed hawk, or we have all kinds of animals here. This is what we have: deer, we have coyote, we have fox, we have dogs. So we'll head down this way. Watch out, don't take out people, please. Come on, dogs. Mass Bay state property, Mass Bay Forest. So you can see that it's very difficult to know exactly where one starts and where one leaves off. So this now, like I said, coming in and going out, it's just been one. It's still been maintained by the town and the Trails Committee. So we'll continue up here. This is August Avenue, and this is another entrance to the park. At both ends, we maintain the doggy bags. So there are doggy bags, and at the main entrance on Oakland, there's a map house and picnic tables and such. And here we have the doggy bags and a trash can and so forth. So this is another entrance to it. And it's actually state property, once again, but we maintain it, keep it here. Correct. And yeah, we maintain all those. So we're going to go up here and take a left.
Like we can park there and come in?
Where?
The parking lot where we met?
Mass Bay.
That's Mass Bay parking. We ask permission for this walk to have people park there. But there's parking down in Oakland, the Oakland Street. There's not a lot, and there's just a little bit of parking here.
Do you need a student parking thing or something like that for that parking lot?
Yes, you're supposed to have a student tag for that parking lot. I don't know how strict they are on that.
Right.
But
It's pretty empty these days. It never gets filled up like it used to.
it never does get filled up, so it is a big area. So we're going up here and we're going to make a left. We'll be going up to Magus Hill. That is the source of our water. We have 2 water tanks there. So we'll be up there with 2 water tanks. You'll see it's the second highest area in Wellesley. We'll go around and we'll go on just the other side, and you'll be able to look through the trees because there's no leaves and see downtown Boston. So it's a nice little view. The water area is the town of Wellesley. It will still. I'm sorry, no. It is under the town of Wellesley, so that will still be maintained, but they have an access road to it.
You see, normally it's over and up, but they mow it once a year.
Area here is maintained. It is owned by the town of Wellesley because of our water source. This is 2 of the water tanks that are right on top of each other. That is under here. So access to this area, there is an access road to get to up here for the town of Wellesley. But the area surrounding it is all Mass Bay. I think those are cell towers. Everyone's making their wink here. I'm not going to make everybody wait till everybody has gathered. I think it might be a little bit before we all get back here. So if you do need to take off, please feel free to do. We do lead trail walks in the fall and in the spring. They're always listed. Sometimes they're sent out with your utility bill. There's something in there, and there's also we have our own website. You're welcome to go on, and it tells you about the various walks, as well as get a map from one of our 19 map houses.
I think they're 20 now.
Are there? Okay.
Okay.
So we have 20 map houses around town. We encourage you. We're very fortunate. We have over 50 miles of trail, marked trails in Wellesley, which is we're very fortunate to have.
Yes.
And we hope that you all enjoyed your walk today. Sorry that we're a little bit late, but it's an important thing that we're covering.
Hey, Diana, if people are interested in, say, joining the Trails Committee, is there an upcoming meeting that they could attend?
You know what? Just a minute. Let me ask the chair of our committee. Ezra.
There is, actually. December 1st, which is Monday, 7 p.m. in the Kingsbury Room at the police station is where we have our meetings. They're also live streamed on Wellesley Media. But if you want to get more involved in trails, we do everything from leading guided tours like this, trail cleanup projects, advocating on behalf of the trail system. So please come and join us, 7 to usually 8:30 or 9. Then it's usually like the first Monday of every month, but this will be this coming Monday. So just a few days from now, if you're interested in joining.
Can you see what the agenda is for this coming meeting?
It should be posted already, yes, on the Wellesley Trails site on the Wellesley, on the town government website.
Okay, thank you.
Trails in Google Maps.
Yeah, they are
I
actually.
believe they are.
If you go to, maybe not Google Maps, but OSM mapping, or if you're on any of the outdoorsy kind of apps like Strava or Rapid GPS or Komoot.
I see some trails on Google.
Yeah, like if you set it to walking directions, it will route you through like the brook path and things like that, but it may not like take you up through, every trail in the network, because it's probably not the most efficient way to go. But like the crosstown trail is definitely in there, and the brook path is certainly in there as well.
But thank you all for coming. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was wonderful. Please do all that you can to help preserve our natural resources. I heard somebody just a minute ago said there is lots of land in Central Mass, and there's lots of other unused area with parking lots and buildings that can be repurposed. We just hope that they don't decide to take our beautiful natural resources. You can't get those back. So thank you all. Have a wonderful. I think we got rid of the surfing, a little bit of gravy. So have a wonderful, safe holiday, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Get a shot of that.
Yard signs, if you can also get them at the website,
Anybody wants a sign to take home? I have some on order.